So you've finally written your will and you've named your executor. Does your executor know they've been named? Hi, Nancy Beauvair here with a Gappy and Next Steps. This week, I wanted to address why it's important that you communicate with the person that you want to choose to become your executor when you pass away. I want to first of all make the point that at this point in time, still fully 50% of Canadian adults have not even created a will. So that's the first thing that we have to overcome. We have to get more people creating their wills so that they are leaving their legacy, leaving their estate to their loved ones seamlessly and without chaos and confusion. So now let's talk about that 50% that have created their will. Of those people, many of them have not updated their wills. So those maybe aren't valid either. Make sure that you keep your will updated depending on your life changes. There are always circumstances that change in life, and you have to make sure that your will is being treated as though it is a living document and it has to adapt and adjust to the changes in your life. Now let's go on to the people that have their will in place and it's current and it's valid. Have they talked to their executor? Have they given a lot of thought to who they named? Being an executor, it's been a thing that people think is quite a simple process. They'll just name their oldest child or their spouse or their friend without really understanding themselves what is really required of an executor. Let me tell you, being an executor is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of attention to detail. It takes certain skills, including communication, including organization, and it can be very, very difficult for some people who just simply don't have that aptitude. It doesn't mean that they're not great people. They just maybe aren't the best people to choose for that role. Now, of course, you do want to give careful consideration to who you do name as your executor. But then once you have decided on them, have a discussion with them. Make sure that they understand what is involved with the role of being an executor. Make sure that they have the time. Settling an estate takes, in Canada, it takes anywhere from a minimum of a year and can stretch, depending on the complexity, for multiple years. A simple estate that I've been working on is going to take 2 years, and there's really nothing but one set of assets. It's just the time that it takes between courts, between CRA, it just takes a long time. So when you do talk to your executor, and now let's assume that your chosen person has agreed to take on that responsibility, you need to communicate with them. Do you know how much easier it will be for your executor to deal with things if they know where all of your documents are, where all of your accounts are? No surprises. Do you have life insurance policies? Where are they kept? What about your digital footprint? We all have so much online participation and involvement now. We have online banking, we have social media, we have websites, we have different accounts. I know I personally have a 3-page spreadsheet with usernames and passwords for my digital accounts. And when I pass away, my executor will know how to access and cancel those. What about you? What about photos that you have that are maybe kept in cloud storage? Can your executor access that and download those and give them to your loved ones so they have those memories? Will your executor be prepared for the legal obligations of acting as executor? Do they know about what's required for filing of final returns? Can they access your information? Do they know who to work with to help close those accounts and deal with the closing out of your estate? Something else that is often overlooked is the emotional aspect. In most cases, the person who is named executor is a family member or a close friend. And these people have that deep connection with you. They are going to be grieving and dealing with their loss at the same time that they're going to be expected to function in this role. And mistakes can be made. You do not want to be making mistakes. As an executor, you can be held personally and financially liable for any mistakes that happen. So you do want to make sure that you do know what you're doing. Make sure that you have those records. Make sure that you are keeping track of everything that you do. Now, the executor is typically permitted under jurisdictional law to apply for an executor fee. It's within a certain range, which will vary depending on the jurisdiction. And it depends also on the complexity of the estate. But it also helps if in your will you have stated in there that you are giving approval for your executor to apply for an executor fee, especially if they've also been named as a beneficiary. You want to include that that is over and above what they have been left as a beneficiary. And I cannot underemphasize and I cannot understate enough how important it is to make sure that you get the appropriate assistance, whether it's legal, tax, accounting, whatever it is that you need. You are permitted under the law to bring in assistance to help you with the estate. It is permitted and it is payable out of the estate. Remember that you do not have to do this alone. You may also wish to engage the services of somebody like myself. I'm a certified executor advisor. I've got experience with working with estates, working as an executor, and I can help guide you. I can help make sure that you're on point. I can give you that assistance, that support, and if needed, I can also provide, in many cases, professionals who can also support in those other fields. As always, I have an article over on my website. The link is in the description box. I invite you to go over and check out the article. These videos are me talking to you, but the articles always dive in to a little bit more detail, a little bit more depth, and have takeaways for you. So please hop over and take a look at that. I'm really glad you joined me this week. I look forward to sharing more with you next time. Thanks very much. Bye for now.